And welcome to Qigong Live Online, and welcome to the beginners class. So I've just run the advanced class before, so you can check on YouTube to have a watch what I just did with that one too, if you're interested in a more advanced level. We were doing an exercise from the Chen style Tai Chi, which is one of their Qigong exercise warm-up exercises, and I was doing that, which is complicated. So we're going to take that idea, the concept of that, and take it right back to the beginning place where it's an easier understanding of that. And part of that is in the Tai Chi, or in Tai Chi and Qigong, is when you're moving part of your body, the other part of the body is moving it for you. Now, that's probably not very well explained what I mean, but I'll do that again. So if I'm going to move my arm, I move my arm. I don't just move my arm by itself. The whole body moves, and the arm moves because of that. And so there's a movement happening inside my body. You can see my shoulders are moving. So if my shoulders are moving, then the arm's coming because of that movement. It's not just an arm. If I just stop that and just use an arm, see only the arm's moving. Very seldom will you actually see that. There are sets that do that, but most of the Qigong you'll find there are whole bodies moving. And even if we're doing the arms coming up from the bottom, they come up and come down. There's a movement that's happening inside the body. Yep. So even when I'm doing that, it's a simple exercise like bring my arms up and bringing them down. I'll show you the difference so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is wave hands over the lake from the Shiva Shir Tai Chi Qigong system. And if I just bring my arms up, it looks like this. Yep, it looks like that. And it's a very sterile thing, and all I'm doing is moving my shoulders. But when you're doing Qigong, you're utilizing all of your body's energy at the same time. So there's other parts that have been more powerful parts. The energy's moves as part of the arm, but the whole body, the energy's moving all the body at the same time. So if I do it now with the energy, you'll see it looks very different. And there's even a slight up and down movement that happens. So there's a body movement, it's not an arm movement. So it's the same thing if I'm moving my arm like that, which comes from just what we were doing in the class, the advanced class before. If I move my arm like that, I don't just move my arm like that. I move my whole body, and it moves the arm. And it's important to understand, and it's in the beginning level of Qigong, is if you very seldom will move any part of your body where there's not another part of the body moving that's driving that arm. In this case, the hips are moving from side to side, and that's what's driving the arm to move. And the arm's just like the end of the whip, and this is the bottom of the whip, and this is the end of the whip that's going out like that, but the whole body is the whip. The whole body turns as the whip. Yep, and so we're not just doing that. Yep, and you don't, as I say, you very seldom see exercise, but there are some that do that, but they're done like that for a reason. But generally you'll find it's trying to coordinate the whole body. So when we're moving our hips and we're turning. We're generating everything's happening because of what's happening with the hands. Yep. And if I'm doing this exercise, and if I just let the arms go, then of course it's just the hips moving, the arms at the top, I just let go. So I'm generating the movement from my hips going backwards and forwards, and the arms are just flopping from side to side. Yep, like that. So there's no tension in the arm. The arm's just completely relaxed. I'm just moving my hip and my arm's just relaxed. There's nothing in it. It's empty. Yeah, and it's only happening because I'm moving my hip. And the arm's just hanging. Yep. So if I do the hips that way, then I'm going to get this motion where the arms go backwards and forwards. And that's just a normal thing to happen because of my arms just hanging down. But if we have intention in it and we do it slower, then we can do the arms still being generated by the hips. But there's more intention in the arms, and the arms aren't just flopping anymore. The arms have chi in them. Now we've got energy in the arms, so when we're moving now, the arms are coming from what's happening in the hips, but the arms are still empty, but they're not floppy. This is floppy. This is floppy. I'll just have to flop them up a bit. This is floppy, because there's nothing going on at all with them. But now I'm going to put chi into the arms, and now we're going to move the arms with energy. Yeah? Different thing. And so we have the idea that our hips are moving and our arms are moving. Yep. Good. So the same thing, so we were just talking about the rotation. So when you rotate, the body moves and the arms move because of the rotation. And the arms rotate in lots of exercise we do. The arms rotate to bring the arm up, comes down, all coming from the hips. rotate the hip back, the arm comes up. Rotate the hip back to the front. Yep, rotate it, comes up, rotate it back to the front. And so the arm's just following what's going on with the hips. Yep. So that's the rotation. So we understand that there's lots of exercise. Turn and gaze at the moon is a classic from the Shiva Shir, where you turn your hips and the hands come up, and then you bring your hands back to the front and rotate back to the front. Turn your hips and the hands come up. Turn your hips back to the front. We'll continue doing the exercise for a couple of times to practice this. So breathe in as it comes up, and then breathe out, rotate your hips down, or back to the front, and then rotate the hips up to the side, breathing in. And then breathing out. Breathing in, and then breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, and breathing out. Breathing in. Good. And all this is happening with the rotation of your hips. And all you're doing is rotating one way, and then rotating backwards the other way. So I explained something the other day about how you use this all the time. So if I was washing the dishes, I should use that terminology, holding a dish, and usually you just use your arm like that and wash the dish, put the dish in the dishwasher, get another dish, wash the dish like this, put it like that. But in Tai Chi, of course, in Qigong, you don't do the dishes like that. You use your hips to do the motion of your arms. So you get and when you pick up the plate, you don't reach across, grab the plate, and your hips don't move and move the plate like that. What happens is you turn, you pick up the plate, you turn back to the front, and then as you're doing the wiping, your hips are turning, and your hips are doing this motion on your plate. And if you want to go back the other way, you're going to go the other way. So the hips, the whole body's doing the dish, not just your arms. And then when we finish, we turn and we put our dish on the other side. We turn all the way across from our hips, grab up another plate, come back to the center, and we do the same thing, hip movement. So that the Tai Chi practice becomes a dishwashing thing, but it doesn't stop in that place. So we're going to go to brushing your teeth. So when you brush your teeth, the same thing. I'm using this as practical things that we do to understand the principle of the Qigong and the Tai Chi. So if the toothbrush in your mouth, you're just doing the toothbrush. If I just use my hand to brush my teeth, it's like that. But the Qigong people, if you ever watch them, or the Tai Chi people, watch them brush their teeth. It's a weird thing to go and do, watch somebody brush their teeth, but understand the principle of this. And you watch them and they'll brush their teeth like this. And the whole body's moving, and the hips are moving, and that's what's moving the arm to brush your teeth. It's not an arm movement anymore, it's a whole body movement. And you're brushing your teeth with the whole body, yep. Same thing when you're drying yourself with a towel, you don't just do the motion like this, the whole body turns when you're drying yourself, because you got used to engaging the whole body all the time, so everything becomes movement. It's not an isolation of just one little thing happening. Yep. So I just want to mention that, and it's really important to understand that's what we just did there is the rotation. I'm going to show you another part of this, because that's one part of it. The next part is when we move from side to side. And the same thing with this. Now, if I move a hand up, and I move my hand back like that, I'm going to just do this one exercise. This is part of cloud. We'll use it. There's a few different things that does this particular move. We'll use cloud hands, for example. Yep. And it goes across and comes up. Now, if I just use the arm, and I won't move my hips, I'll just use the arm, and it looks like this. And you can see what I mean. It's just an elbow turning and a wrist turning, and there's pretty much nothing else happening. But Qigong, the whole body turns. Body turns back, body turns. Notice the whole thing all of a sudden becomes alive, and the whole body's moving. And this is a basic understanding to understand where we start with the Qigong and the Tai Chi. Usually you won't move an arm by itself. It'll be generated by somewhere else. In this case, the hips are moving. That's generating the movement of the hands. Hips are moving that way. That's the rotation. Good. So then we change that, and we're going to do the pendulum, which we talked about. Pendulums are like moving weight from one side to the other, like a pendulum of a clock. And so we go to the other side. Now we're going to go across and turn, cross and turn, Across, now we have a rotation. Now we have a pendulum going backwards and forwards. Now that movement side and side is creating the movement of the arm. So now we have a rotation and a pendulum going on to move one arm instead of just doing that. Or if I can't do it moving, not stationary, it looks like that. Or if we move in the rotation and the hips and the pendulum going on at the same time, the whole thing's really different. Yep. And of course then we add another hand, we're doing way of hands, and we use another hand and we do this, and one goes one way and one goes the other. But the body's moving from side to side and it's rotating at the same time. So we've got a rotation going on and a pendulum. And that's what it looks, so there's a totally different look than this. It's just an arm swinging just from the elbows, isn't it? And this is what we're trying to do in Qigong, is we're trying to do, whenever we do any motion or any movement, we're trying to coordinate the whole body to be involved in the activity, not just one piece. And so the whole body moves and looks so, so different. And it's pretty much the same with most exercises, the same. We're trying to create body movement. The other thing we're trying to do, I'll just stop there for a second, is we're trying to maintain the connection between our legs and our arms. And so we don't lose this connection with that arm and this arm and this leg. We're going to keep that arm leg connected, or that arm and that connected. Or the opposite way, where you do that arm and this leg, or this arm and this leg. And you have the top part of your body and the bottom part of your body completely coordinated together and moving at the same time. Tai Chi does it a lot, because it makes you use one hand one side and one hand the other, and then it crosses over and makes it do the other side. So you keep crossing over through the gates to open up one side of the body to connect to the other side, and then you have one side connected to the same side, and it crosses backwards and forwards energetically. So you keep that alive, and Qigong does the same. Qigong has this tendency to want to keep this energy moving across the body, across the X, and then on one side of the X, and across the X, and then on one side, and it keeps the energy moving smoothly. And to do that, the whole body has to move to do that. The whole body moves when you're doing the exercise. Whatever it is in Tai Chi, whatever posture you're doing, whatever posture you do in Tai Chi, it's all about the same thing, about connecting the body, the arms, the legs, the hips, and the arms. Now, in Tai Chi is a bit more advanced understanding. They call it the belt meridian, or the belt channel, and it's an extraordinary vessel. It's a storage vessel, and it runs around the middle, and they call it the belt meridian because it's like a belt runs around the middle of your section. And that particular energy field that's there, the storage vessel of the energy, balances the top part of your body and the bottom part of your body. And so you want those two parts balanced all the time, and it goes through and so it's like almost like the hourglass without it's the idea of there's a centerpiece in the middle between the top and the bottom, and it balances, so it doesn't actually just drain out from the top. It doesn't work that way, but it's the idea of that moving to the center and back out. Our energy comes in the center and goes back out and connects with the top and the bottom. Yep. Hourglass might not be the right analogy for that, because you normally think of an hourglass, think of the sand running out of it. We don't want that. We want them both full. Yep. But the big thing is to have this connection with the top and the bottom. So when we're doing Qigong exercise, and the exercise I've shown you so far in the beginner's exercise, always remember this principle of having the whole body moving. The whole body moves, not just an arm. We want the whole body involved in that. So then you never lose the communication between the top half and the bottom half. I've seen older people who don't do physical practice where they move their arm and then they move their leg, and they move their arm and they move the leg, and they're completely disconnected between their arms and legs. They've lost this ability to communicate with each other, instead of having the idea of that arm and that leg. When we walk, well, of course, when I do it that way so you can see, arm, leg. So the same thing, they're connected. And there's no connection, but what happens is the arm goes, then the leg goes, and the leg goes down, then the arm goes down. And we don't want to do that. We want to keep the connection the whole time, because part of the thing when you get elderly and they have falls, is because of this lack of coordination between the up part of the body and the bottom part. The top part goes one way and the legs go another. And that's why when people do Qigong Tai Chi, they don't have falls very often, because they have this connection going on all the time. And so they maintain this whole body movement. Yeah. Anyway, I think you get my point. And so practice that, and you can do that exercise that I did before, that understanding of that exercise, which is turning gaze at the moon. And you can also do the wave hands exercise. Do one hand to start off with using your hips to turn, and then you can do the other one with the other hand. And then we get very sophisticated, then you can do both of them at the same time. And you're moving your hips to move your arms. And you feel your hips move and your arms move at the same time. There you go. Try that and see how that goes. If you get really sophisticated, then of course you can move the pendulum and move it from side to side as well. So you're turning and you're rotating. You're going from side to side and rotating at the same time. So now we've got two things happening. Yep. So I'll say that again. So we get the hands just doing by themselves. We've got the rotation going, which creates the hands to move. So now the body's involved. And then we add the next piece, which is the moving from side to side as well as the rotation. There are two pieces going. There you go. Try that. Very good. Have a beautiful day, eh? Well, bow to the class and have a beautiful week. If you have any questions about that, please ask. And I'll see you next week. And as if you get a chance, have a look at the class before. It's a little bit harder than the class before, but if you want to have a look at it, it'll be posted up today sometime. Cheers. Roll back on your thumbs. Left hand underneath, right hand on top. Go. Make a fist with your left, cover it with your right. Bring towards your heart, and then bring your hands down. Have a great day, everybody. Eh? See you next week. Eh? Bye-bye.